change history. I will 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 change history. That will be the most beautiful day.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in this evening. Nice to see so many people tuning back into the reports tonight. Again, thank you for tuning in. This is our report on the ongoing crisis in Ukraine, on the ongoing Ukraine war for May 4th of 2022. We're going to be getting everybody caught up on the major events of the past about 12 to 24 hours here. So stand by for that. If you missed tonight's report, again, we always upload our reports to YouTube. To our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Nemico Network. Again, a few hours after they're live, you can find them uploaded to the YouTube channel. If you missed last night's report, I highly recommend you go and check that out. You can find that uploaded over on the YouTube channel. Again, so great to see so many familiar faces, so many new people as well tuning back in this evening. Benny Hill, nice to see you tuning back in. Lori, thank you so much for tuning back in. Michelle, Marcia. We have two Michelles in the chat. Michelle Kilpatrick and Michelle Welch. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Jenny, thank you so much for tuning in tonight again. LD429, thank you so much for tuning back in tonight. To any of my mods in the live chats this evening, again, thank you guys so much for lending a hand over there. To everybody that has subscribed this evening, there's quite a few people that I just saw just now subscribed over on the YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel and choosing to get notifications there when we upload new videos and new live streams by hitting that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button to make sure you're going to be getting all of those notifications. Kenders, thank you so much over on the Twitch for giving out those 5 community subs. Gift subs over on the Twitch channel. Thank you so much. Again, a reminder to everybody, we are dual streaming both on YouTube and Twitch as always. If for some reason if one of the streams goes down or you're having an issue with one, you can always hop over to the other stream. Smuggies, thank you so much for tuning in. Suze for Keeps, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, guys, yeah, I usually start around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're gonna get. I know I saw quite a few of you guys pile in here pretty quickly tonight, and we do have quite a few reports to go through tonight. So I'm gonna start just a little early. We're gonna be starting at 7:40 here, and we'll be again getting everybody caught up on the events of the past about 12 to 24 hours. Again, to anybody that hasn't already, you can join our Discord server to join in on the community discussions. And also, if you want to get up-to-date, real-time reporting on what's going on in Ukraine, by far the best place to do that is our Discord server, The Hive, over at discord.gg/Nemico. Again, you can find a link to that, an invite link to that in the description below this live stream or below this video, depending on how you're watching this content. Again, I'd like to just quickly report, just say everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's reports. Kender, thank you so much for becoming a member over there on the YouTube channel. Highly appreciated. Epi, thank you so much for tuning back in over here on the stream. Again, it's always good to see our Scotsmen tuning back in to the stream. Kenders, again, thank you so much, man, for the support this evening. We're going to get immediately right into it here, guys. Really quickly, I just want to mention, though, if you're looking for any of the links to our sources, any of our cameras, any of our on-the-screen sources that we're using, like live viewing map, etc., flight radar, our naval tracking stuff, all of that stuff you can find in the description below or over on our Discord server. I know a few people were asking about that there in the chats. I'm currently taking questions and comments from not only the YouTube chat, but the Twitch chat and the Discord chats, the Discord general chat to be specific as well. To everybody tuning in from Discord over there, thank you guys so much for stopping by on the stream this evening. We love our Discord community. Thank you guys so much for contributing to the community aggregated reporting, that whole side of this. Again, it's because you guys that is possible. So we're going to start tonight with our main headlines. As usual, I'll go through all of the main stories for the past about 12 to 24 hours. And then after that, we're going to switch into our situation room, our community aggregated reports from our Discord community over there at discord.gg/Nemico. And then after that, before we hop into our really dive into our live UA map and the individual reporting from the past 12 hours or so, we're going to take a look at what I didn't do last night. We're going to take a look at, again, our flight radar. We'll take a look at some of the stuff that our flight radar guys have been tracking over in those Discord channels. We have again channels over on our Discord server for not just tracking the intel reports here, but tracking things like individual events, on flight radar, what's going on in the naval. In the in the naval space, in the Black Sea, in the Sea of Azov. There, we also have guys tracking radio communications, doing some cyber analysis as well. So we're going to take a look at some of that stuff this evening before we hop into our live UA map. Again, thank you really quickly to everybody that is tuning in this evening. It's great to see so many new faces tuning into the stream, as well as a few familiar faces as well. Again, still seeing quite a few of you piling in here. We're about to get started with our main headlines. I'm going to go through all of those first, just to get everybody kind of updated on kind of the gist of what's really going on over the past 12 to 24 hours. Kind of some of those main headlines there again, and then we'll go into the in-depth reporting after that. All right, so without further ado, again, thank you to everybody that's tuned in tonight. If you haven't already, guys, I see only 79 of you have hit that like button. Please, if every single one of you could really quickly smash that like button on YouTube, it would be highly appreciated. It gets the algorithm's attention, and it helps get the word out, helps get this reporting out to more people. Again, guys, hit that like button. Also, if you can, sound off in chat where you're tuning in from tonight. We always love to see where you guys are tuning in from. Also, we can be keeping track of fuel prices in everybody's, where everybody's from. It's very interesting to see what fuel prices are looking like in the different countries, and not only in the different countries, but in different states here in the U.S. Again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in this evening. OG Smiley69 tuning back in from Michigan. Thank you so much for tuning back in. Candy, tune in from Kokomo, Indiana. I bet it's beautiful there in Kokomo. Tony Starks, tuning in from South Florida. Thank you so much, Tony, for tuning in this evening. Common Fishbowl says North Carolina, USA. Luis says Niagara Falls, Canada. I bet it's beautiful up there in Niagara Falls. Beatles says Wisconsin. Adam Myers says $3.90 a gallon in Minnesota. That does sound like it's a little bit cheaper there in Minnesota. Again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the stream tonight. Chris A., Portland, Oregon. Josh, tuning in from Canada. Lanny, tuning in from San Diego. Thicky G, tuning in from Stillwater, Oklahoma. That is beautiful out there. Michelle Welch, tuning in from Missouri. $3.71 gas price in my town. Still, sounds like those prices are coming down quite a bit. Unstakeable says Nemico Network fuel prices went down here 30 cents a liter here in the Netherlands compared to about a month ago. But I think they will go up again shortly, since the EU will put an oil embargo on again. And I'll be reporting on that oil embargo here shortly. That's actually at the top of my list for those main headlines tonight. So we'll get into that here in just a few minutes. Tony Stark saying, and tune in from Miami, $4.21. Oof, of regular. Still pretty high there in Miami. Mike Hilton, $5.86 a gallon here in CA. Still pretty high there in California. Philip, thank you so much for tuning in. Says $5.15 a gallon of diesel in Bee Cove, Texas. I bet it's beautiful there in Texas today. Appy, thank you so much for tuning in this evening. Again, it looks like you're having a little chat there with our Nightbot. Again, that Nightbot, he's definitely on top of things. Again, without further ado, guys, we're going to start our reports here. We're going to go through our main headlines for May the 4th of 2022. Again, thank you guys to everybody that's tuning in this evening from all over the world, all over the United States as well. Hello, and again, good evening to all of you guys. And thank you so much for tuning in tonight for our nightly report and choosing to get your news on what's going on in Ukraine. Again, I wish it could be under better circumstances, but again, I appreciate the fact that you guys choose us to get your information about what is going on in Ukraine. Again, without further ado, let's hop into our main headlines for this evening. Again, at the top of the list, the European Union has proposed to cut itself off from Russian oil. Again, I've been reporting on this all week here. The ban would hit at a pillar of Russia's economy by phasing out the import of Russian crude oil to Europe within 6 months. So I think about August is when they would be looking for the deadline on that. And of course, and refined oil by the year's end as well. So not just the crude oil, but also refined oil as well. Again, Russia is the EU's top supplier of oil. All right, so it's very impactful. These embargoes will definitely have a widespread effect on the region. Germany warned the move could lead to a surge in oil prices across Europe. Again, that's why we've been keeping an eye on these fuel prices here, guys. That's why I asked at the beginning of the stream, because at the beginning of the war we did see that uptick in price there, and then we've seen things kind of come back down, settle back down again. But it is slated to go back up again. Again, as Hungary and Slovakia want exemptions from the oil ban. I reported on that yesterday, and the Czech Republic has sought a longer phase-in. The European Commission also moved to disconnect Russia's biggest bank from the international SWIFT system. So there is a lot here happening in the sanction department here when it comes to putting pressure on the Kremlin, putting pressure on the Russian government here. Now they're hitting oil directly. They're hitting, of course, their banking systems directly, and also personal sanctions on not only Putin himself, but the Russian hierarchy. Again, big news this evening. Fighting continues at the AVASTOL plant. I reported this on last night's report. Again, we saw that battle having a renewed offensive had broken out there as of last night. As of this hour, there is still a massive, very intense amount of fighting happening at that steelworks factory in Mariupol. Okay, it's the final holdout of Ukrainian forces in that strategic coastal city. The Russian military has claimed it has seized the city, but Ukrainian troops and civilians remain inside the vast bunkers and tunnels under the steel plant. Again, aid workers are working to evacuate more people from the facility. Dozens who recently escaped the weeks-long siege described the situation inside as very dire situation. There's a lot of wounded. There's a lot of people that need medical attention. Again, a very big humanitarian crisis occurring there at that AVASTOL Steelworks factory, and on a more broad level across Mariupol, across Ukraine, one could argue as well. Russian attacks on Ukrainian infrastructure are targeting the flow of weapons and other supplies. Again, in a ramping up of these strikes, we saw strikes this week in Kiev and Lviv most recently. Russia's military claimed its missiles had disabled 6 Ukrainian railway stations used to ship Western arms to Ukrainian forces in the country's east. The Kremlin has long complained about the West providing arms to Ukraine and cited that as one of the justifications to launch what it still calls a, quote, special military operation to demilitarize Ukraine. Again, really quickly, I just want to say thank you to everybody tuning in this evening from everywhere. Again, guys, if you can, hit that like button. It helps get the algorithm's attention here. And again, best way to support the channel, hit that subscribe button. And also, it's the best way for you to get notified when new reports go live. Again, guys, coming up here to 7:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the East Coast in the United States. Currently coming up to the 3 a.m. hour in Ukraine. Again, by the end of this report, it will be coming on to dawn here in Ukraine. We'll be getting our 24/7 cam stream back up and operational. Moving on with tonight's reports. The Pentagon said Russian attacks on railroads and electricity infrastructure have led to, quote, no appreciable impact on the ability of the U.S. and its allies to deliver aid. Russia is firing roughly 40 to 50 missiles a day into Ukraine, according to a senior U.S. defense official. The strikes are focused on the front line in Donbass region, in the east and nearby Mariupol, with some also targeting major hubs such as Lviv in the west and the capital of Kiev. Again, we saw those strikes occur this week. Again, focusing back in on the situation at the AVASTOL Steelworks factory. Ukrainian commander at the AVASTOL says, quote, the enemy broke into the plant complex during battles. The commander of the Azov regiment soldiers inside the AVASTOL plant, Lieutenant Colonel Denis Prokopenko, says there are heavy battles unfolding in the complex after Russian forces breached its perimeter. Earlier Wednesday, the Ukrainian foreign minister said the plant still, quote, holds despite relentless Russian attacks. Despite all of the statements by Russian officials that Mariupol, despite relentless Russian attacks, uh, is under their full control. Again, this is not true. Avastol, the stronghold, which is that steelworks factory there, again, the last stronghold of Ukrainian resistance, not just for the Ukrainian military, but there is still civilians there. Again, it still holds at this time. There is still conflict occurring there at this time, just to be clear on that fact. Ukrainian Foreign Ministry, Minister Dmytro Kuleba said in a Twitter live stream, again, in an interview with Radio Savoboda, again, that Ukrainian parliament member, also David Arkarihima, again, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, had confirmed that Russian troops have already reached the premises of the Avastol steel plant. Again, that parliament member who has led Ukrainian delegation in talks with Russia also confirmed that Ukrainian authorities had managed to regain communications with Ukrainian fighters in Avastol after losing touch with them earlier on Wednesday. Again, very interesting. Hearing some of the conflicting reports that have come out from both sides over the past few days here. What is clear is that the conflict there at the Avastol plant is still underway. What is also clear is that there are still civilians in that plant, as well as those Ukrainian soldiers. Even though there has been evacuations, semi-successful, I may add, over the past week or two. Again, there are still civilians trapped in that steelworks factory from our latest reports that we have gotten in. Again, Russia says it will open evacuation corridors from Avastol plant on Thursday. Again, that remains to be seen if they do follow through with that. Again, the Russian Ministry of Defense says it expects to open corridors for civilians out of the Avastol steel plant near Mariupol starting Thursday on May 5th, 6th, and 7th, 2022 from 0800 to 1800 time, again, that's Moscow time, in accordance with the decision of the leadership of the Russian Federation, again, which is based on, quote, humane principles. This is the direct quote from that statement. The Russian armed forces will open a humanitarian corridor from the territory of the Avastol metallurgical plant to evacuate civilians, again, workers, women, and children, again, whose presence in the underground facilities of the plant was once again announced by the Kiev authorities. Again, the Russian Ministry of Defense announced those statements today, Wednesday. Again, approximately 2,000 Russian troops currently remain in Mariupol. That from a senior U.S. defense official report, approximately 2,000 Russian troops, or the equivalent of 2 Russian battalion tactical groups, remain dedicated to Mariupol, according to a senior U.S. defense official. However, 10 Russian BTGs that had been dedicated to the city are now attempting to move north and have paused, quote, either to create better defensive positions or to refit and reposture themselves just south of the town of Velika Novosilka, according to the official there. The official said that the remaining forces in and around Mariupol may include some non-Russian fighters, including Chechens. Russian military progress in Ukraine remains, quote, slow and uneven in the north of the country, according to that official report from the U.S. defense. Again, that battle continuing to rage on there in the Donbass. The Russians have been making incremental and sporadic gains, sometimes to be taken back by the Ukrainian forces immediately after. Again, speaking to that, Ukraine retakes a Kharkiv region village and inches closer towards the Russian border now as they repel those forces in that area. Again, they've retaken uh, that village in northern Kharkiv as a counter-offensive, again, continues against Russian forces. In a video circulating on Telegram, troops were seen placing a flag on a building in the village of Molodova. Again, I reported on that last night in our evening report. Again, just 13 miles, about 21 kilometers southeast of the Ukraine-Russian border. Again, reporters have geolocated and verified the authenticity of the video. Quote, this is how we liberate a soldier is heard saying in the video, quote, step by step, village by village, our land. The counteroffensive, again, is to retake territory in Kharkiv. Again, they've retaken a number of villages, about half dozen in the area in the last 2 weeks. The UK, again, announces more Russian sanctions and targets media outlets over, quote, disinformation. The United Nations Foreign Secretary Liz Truss, the United Kingdom's Foreign Secretary Liz Truss had announced further sanctions against 63 Russian citizens and entities, including against Russian media companies, quote, behind Putin's vicious disinformation campaign and their employees. Russian war correspondents embedded with Russian forces in Ukraine and several Russian media outlets are among those sanctioned. Aside from the asset freezes and travel bans, new legislation introduced means social media, internet services, and app store companies, quote, must take action to block content from 2 of Russia's major sources of disinformation, RT and Sputnik. Again, according to the UK's Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, also known as the FCDO. Again, adding to that, the U.S. says it is open to additional sanctions that came directly from the president of the United States, Joe Biden, again on Russia after the EU announced that new round of sanctions as well. Again, U.S. President Joe Biden said directly, the quote from that report, we are always open to additional sanctions. He added, I'll be speaking with the members of the G7 this week about what we're going to do or not do. Again, Biden told reporters at the White House Wednesday while discussing the U.S. economy. Again, that about sums up the primary main headlines here for tonight as we come right on the 8 o'clock hour here on the East Coast, or the 3 a.m. hour here in Ukraine. So now what we're going to do is we're going to immediately hop into our Situation Room and take a look at some of the community aggregated reporting for this evening. Again, my aim this evening is to have a little bit more time to emphasize some of that content. All right, so stand by here while I pull up a few of today's reports here, guys, from our Situation Room. Again, this is all reporting that is aggregated on behalf of our community here at the Nemico Network. Again, thank you to everybody that is a contributor to that. If you guys want to help contribute to that aggregation of that reporting in the Situation Room over on the Discord server, again, you can hop over to the Discord server, discord.gg/Nemico. Make sure to, in the welcome channel, pick up your Intel Analyst rank. And if you have any news reports or anything you want to share with the community and possibly have mentioned here on the live stream, you can post it in that channel there, and if selected, we will talk about those on the nightly reports like we're about to do right now. All right, so without further ado, our first post from this evening comes from Lords of Acid, a longtime contributor over on the Discord server. Thank you so much, Lords, for sending this post over. This was posted on Twitter. I believe this is an unconfirmed Twitter source here, saying that allegedly Russian Air Force strategic bomber VoiceNet is also transmitting on the 4671 kilohertz frequency range there. That is on kilohertz USB, transmitting at the same time as 8090 kilohertz. They do this for better reception coverage over the frequencies. So to all of my radio guys out there, again, we do have a dedicated channel over on the Discord server called Radio Intercept, where since the beginning of the war, we have been intercepting not just military open radio communications, but also we've also been intercepting some civilian communications as well that have been quite insightful. So it's not just military communications, but also civilian and commercial, which is also quite useful. When looking at that data, when looking for what's going on in a region, tracking some of that radio traffic is very important. Another report from Lords of Acid pertaining to that same radio. There again, Russian Air Force strategic bomber VoiceNet is now active at 7:23 p.m. Eastern, so just a short while ago here, about a half an hour ago, on 8090 kilohertz USB. That was at 2319 UTC. So again, There is activity on those bomber channels. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. Pyrotech, thank you so much for tuning in this evening. You are not late, good sir. I am just starting a little bit early this evening. Again, I wanted to cram in enough time tonight so we could really put emphasis on some of our community aggregated reporting, as I feel like the past few nights I've failed to do so. I failed to pay attention to that department there. Again, so I really quickly ran through our main headline topics for this evening, and so now we're going to get into our situation room, some of our community aggregated reporting, and then go into some of our open source intelligence sources as well. Next post from Max West here on the situation room. This comes from Telegram. Quote, explosions heard in Kherson. Ukraine is up to something outside of the town, but not far. Again, I believe this comes from a pro-Russian source, so keep that in mind. On Telegram here, it doesn't look like it's wanting to load for me here, though. However, if it doesn't load, I can tell you guys the report here saying, again, explosions apparently heard in Kherson. A quote from that report saying, okay, actually you can see it here. Okay, so I'm going to really quickly make sure that our Kharkiv audio is muted because you guys can hear that. Let's make sure that's muted. Okay, so that buzzing should be fixed now. All right, so there's a lot of information to go through here. So this is from today. Quite a lot of reporting here from the public Kherson. From the public Kherson Telegram channel here. A lot of information to go through. This is from May 4th here, May 3rd. Again, so that report said, apparently, allegedly, explosions heard in Kherson. This is at 6:35 p.m. Eastern. So about an hour ago, about an hour or two ago, those explosions were heard there. Thank you, Max West, for posting that over there. Again, that might be a very interesting source there coming from that public Kherson Telegram feed. I might have to take a look at that later, see some of those reports that have come out over the past day or so. Our next post here comes from HM Producer on the Situation Room. Thank you, HM Producer, a longtime contributor to the reporting here as well. Also helps out in the live chats from time to time. This comes from an unverified source on Twitter, as you can see here. Okay, so keep that in mind. It says, Ukrainian army released a tapped phone call between a Russian soldier and his mother. The soldier describes excited how he tortured and killed Ukrainians and says he enjoys mutilating people. I have translated the calls in this thread. Please be aware of extreme violence. Again, I'm not going to read you the specifics there, but if you guys would like to look at some of these reports in detail, you can find those over on our Situation Room in the Discord server. Our next post here comes from Max West. Again, thank you, Max West, for providing this. This is actually what seems to be a rundown here of the Baltic Fleet on Wikipedia. Interesting. Some interesting information here, specifically pertaining to the 11th Army Corps. Again, not sure if he was trying to reference something there, but still some valuable information. Our next post here comes from Kayuka on the Situation Room, a longtime contributor to the reporting on the Situation Room. This comes from Nexta. We've gotten quite a few reports from Nexta since the war has began here. It says Ukraine and Russia have agreed on a ceasefire from May 5th to May 7th on the territory of the AVASTOL. Again, so that's big. That's probably the big story here tonight, guys. Is that both Ukraine and Russia have agreed on that ceasefire from the 5th to the 7th to get those people out of the AVASTOL plant. Hopefully, not just the civilians can get out of there. I'm hoping that also any Ukrainian service members that are all in that plant trapped can have a chance to just get out of there. The Russians can then take the plant. I don't think it's worth it for those remaining Ukrainian forces to sit there, in that plant and, of course, lose their lives as they're surrounded by those two Russian battle groups. It's come to a point, again, where they need to get everybody out of there. Again, especially those citizens. is the primary concern there. I'm also personally hoping that they can get those Ukrainian soldiers out of there as well. Get everybody to safety. Again, there's been multiple pleas from those Azov regiment soldiers there. We've seen videos over the past few weeks of them looking, asking, pleading with other nations to provide an evacuation for them out of that steelworks. Again, it says here the defenders of Mariupol used this time to prepare civilians and the area for evacuation. Deputy Prime Minister, Minister for the Reintegration, said in a interview there. Very interesting reporting there. Again, Kayuka, thank you so much for posting this in our Situation Room. Our next post here comes from Miss Chris. Again, this has been a big story today. Unfortunately, guys, an excellent journalist here lost his life today. Again, Russians killed another person. I'm reading here directly from this tweet here. Russians killed another person I knew, another journalist I met, Alexander Makov, in Slavyansk several years ago. He was one of the best Ukrainian war reporters. He joined the army after Russian full-scale invasion began and was killed in combat near Izium. He was so young. Rest in peace. Yes, rest in peace to you, Alexander. Again, he was a military journalist. He was known for some excellent reporting there on the ongoing war in Ukraine. Again, he has unfortunately lost his life. It has been officially reported today. He did lose his life to Russian soldiers. He was killed there in Ukraine in fighting near Izium. Again, hearts go out to him and his family. Again, I actually also followed some of his content, some of his reporting that he put out over the years. He was a good guy, good journalist. A lot of people that knew him as a not only a good person, but also a really good reporter as well, really good journalist as well. All right, guys. So again, thank you, Miss Chris, for posting that in the Situation Room. Again, very unfortunate that that young man had to lose his life there in Ukraine. Our next post here comes from HM Producer on the Situation Room. This, again, is from an unverified Twitter source, guys. The footage reportedly showing Russian strike at a bridge in Dnipro earlier this evening. Again, we're still waiting to get more concrete information on this. We'll see if there's any correlating reports on our live viewing map as well. Again, you can see that it was reported as a strike on that bridge in Dnipro earlier today. Again, I'm hoping that when we go through our live UA map sources here shortly, that we will have some more information to bring on that possible bridge strike. Again, that was some of the first information I've actually heard of that, though, was that video that's been being passed around. I still have not, again, gotten any more confirmed information on that. That is still a breaking story today. However, we do have a few reported explosions reported near Dnipro. Again, I haven't gone through all of our live UA map updates, but we're about to do that here in a few short moments together. Our next post here comes from Max West on the Situation Room. This shows that footage I was talking about earlier, a picture from that footage earlier of those Ukrainian soldiers raising that flag above that building in Kharkiv. Kharkiv there. Again, not only are Ukrainian forces in the region nearing the Russian border, but they are also inching closer to vital Russian supply lines that run from the border down to Russian-occupied Izium and into the Donetsk region. Again, you can see that was what we reported on earlier, that footage there that's been being passed around of them raising that Ukrainian flag above that building there near Kharkiv. Our last post from this evening, actually we have two more. Our second to last post here from our Situation Room here this evening. This comes from Miss Chris from Ukraine Weapons Tracker. A I would say a pretty viable source for some reporting here. We've gotten quite a few valuable reports from this Twitter source here, Ukraine Weapons Tracker. Again, it says, the first appearance of a Mistral Manpads donated by Norway/France, again, launchers and 100-plus missiles now in use by Ukrainian forces. The Mistral is well regarded, generally comparable to Stinger slash LGLA Manpads that are common locally. This unit is pickup mounted for maximum mobility. Again, they can mount it right there in the back of a pickup truck. It can be very mobile. They can go from position to position. Again, you can see they have camo netting there to kind of camouflage camouflage the launcher in the back of the car there, in the back, sorry, the back of that Fiat truck there that they're using. Again, you can see that launcher there. Again, very similar to how the Stinger missile systems work as well, comparable in their effectiveness. Our last post for the night comes from HM Producer on the Situation Room. Again, thank you so much for this post. It comes from an unverified Twitter post here, or Twitter source here. Again, let me get this out of the way so we can look at this. Again, this is the first seconds after the arrival of the rocket on the Amursky Bridge in Dnipro tonight. Again, so these clips that we're seeing here is some of the only information we have so far coming out of Dnipro on this bridge blast. Again, I hope when we go through our live UA maps in a minute, I can have some more
Только что так
official reports
ёбнуло
here.
просто, что пиздец.
We have these videos here so far
Это просто
of that bridge
пиздец,
strike there.
нахуй.
Again, the camera that we saw, I think, is on this side of the bridge facing this way. And a missile, again, a rocket or a missile, again, waiting to get more information. Struck
Сейчас
the bridge
уйду.
there. Again, I hope when we
Только
go
что
through our
так
live map
ёбнуло
updates
просто,
here
что
in a second,
пиздец.
we'll have some more concrete
Это
information
просто
on this.
пиздец, нахуй.
You can see the plume rising from the bridge there as that was reportedly striked. So, switching over to our live UA map really quickly. Actually, before we do that, we're going to take a look at two things. We're going to take a look at first our naval radar and some of the reporting that has occurred today from our from our naval radar analysts from our naval radar channel on the Discord server. Our first report comes from Lords of Acid. Thank you, Lords of Acid, for contributing this. Again, this shows what is reportedly some firms data from our NASA firms map that we often show on the stream here. Again, open source, documenting a large fire on, again, this was the 2nd of May here, just off the coast of Romania. Again, possible Russian naval loss reported there. This was posted May 3rd, the day after. Again, this reportedly came from the 2nd. You can see where NASA firms picked up that fire there. Possibly that there was a fire there, maybe a Russian ship that got hit in that area. Bernie Shumack, thank you so much for tuning in. He says, watching from the hospital. Hey, Nemico. Well, hey, Bernie, I hope you're doing okay, man. I hope you get better. I hope everybody's okay there. And I hope you get home safe and sound there, Bernie. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening and watching the reports, watching the live stream from the hospital. It means a lot to me. Some of the speculation there in the Situation Room in that the Naval Radar channel on our Discord server. Some speculation it could possibly be an oil rig. Again, we still are waiting. It possibly could have been either a Russian naval vessel that got hit, or even maybe an oil rig that got hit. That is possible as well. Another post here coming from Lords of Acid here. Again, this was a flash detected. I believe this was earlier today in Odessa Oblast. Again, off of the coast where that was reported. Over the water there. We also have another post here from Telegram from Terminal Frost, who posted this over the Naval Radar channel. This does come from what looks to be a pro-Russian source here, but this shows what is reportedly some, I believe, Russian submarine naval hardware there. It looks to be, that looks to be Russian submarines there heading out. This could be the Sea of Azov here. This could be a port near Crimea. Again, I don't have any concrete information on this so far. Again, take it with a grain of salt, especially when we get something on Telegram posted by a pro-Russian source. Again, so that is just some of the activity that has been occurring in the naval space. To switch over here to our flight radar, we have a few flights that have been tracked today. Earlier today, a user in our flight radar channel named Galileo, Galileo, again, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, was tracking Catalina Air CMB 314 is the call sign on that, was making an approach to Rzeszów, Poland. most likely bringing the next batch of goodies from Dover Air Force Base for Ukraine's defense. Galileo was also tracking a Japanese ASDF Kawasaki C2 call sign JF421, which was parked at Rzeszów in Poland there, although not a member of NATO. He says, I bet this represents an effort to better integrate Japan into NATO Ukrainian logistics operations. Would make sense to tighten participation and cooperation should China decide to eventually move against Taiwan. Definitely some very insightful reporting there. Serenity actually posted a picture here earlier from today. I can get this open for you guys here, which shows some multi-track activity that they were tracking there. Multiple tankers here: a Boeing KC-135 Stratotanker, two KC-135 Stratotankers, and then you got a Black Hawk U.S. Army, as well as an Italian A-Force Gulfstream G550 AEW. You can see where those were all tracking there along Ukraine. Again, heightened tensions, heightened training, heightened readiness level occurring in that region there. Again, thank you to all of you guys that are posting and keeping an eye on the skies here in our Flight Radar channel. Highly appreciative of this work you guys are putting on here. In fact, there's so much to go through from today's Flight Radar tracking over here. Magda Kettlestorm actually here was tracking NW S7091, another Nordwind passenger plane to Kaliningrad. Again, started service today. There was another one earlier, saying the Kaliningrad arrival schedule also shows a new flight from Belgorod to Kaliningrad, but it has not been spotted yet and does not register as having ever flown. Very odd, he mentions there. Very interesting. So Lizard 97 says, still keeping an eye on North Korea. Third day I've seen a Cobra ball up. Very interesting. Let's take a look at this. Again, this is Spoof 39. He was tracking this earlier. Lizard 97 was tracking this earlier today. Actually, this was yesterday evening. He was tracking this. Again, this is a Boeing RC-135S Cobra ball. Very interesting activity there, right off of North Korea. Very interesting there. Very interesting indeed. Quite a bit of flight radar activity here to go through today. Some inbound traffic posted by Shenanigans 80 earlier. This was inbound traffic to Moscow. Sheremetyevo holding. He was speculating there. Again, very interesting. Yeah, in holding patterns as well. So very interesting activity there earlier coming inbound into Moscow. If you guys would like to take a look at any of this aircraft activity, you can find this stuff again in the Flight Radar channel over on our Discord server. It's an excellent place to find real-time updates. Basically, in real time, get updates on what is going on in the skies over the region here, not just involving the Ukrainian war, but on a more broader level here, across not just Europe but Asia as well. Again, a lot of reporting came from today. There's so much to go through for our Flight Radar section. You guys have been absolutely on top of it over there in the Flight Radar section on our Discord server. Really quickly, adding to that, though, we're going to open up the Flight Radar ourselves here. We're going to take a look at what our current most tracked flights are right now at this very hour on Flight Radar. Currently, top tracked this evening, we got our CL60 is up. This looks like it's down by Cuba. Interesting. Very interesting here. Coming from Colombia up to Cuba, we have a CL60 #1 tracked worldwide. I know those CL60s have been used for those reconnaissance flights a few times. Very interesting positioning there with that CL60 tonight. I will also mention there. #2 tracked. This always boggles my mind. These tracks here from Tokyo to London. Again, this is a commercial Japan Airlines flight. Why are they tracking this? Again, this is currently #3 worldwide. #2, this just came up on radar, I believe, because it's climbing the scale here pretty quick. Airbus KC-2 Voyager, call sign RR9837. Of course, that's Royal Air Force. Again, in the air tonight over Bulgaria, you can see was running a holding pattern there over Romania, not too far from where we've seen that cam drone, the camcopters launching recently. Keeping an eye on probably on the naval situation that's going on here in the Black Sea. Very interesting there as well. A lot of these are also commercial flights. We got one here, Moscow to Istanbul. That's an interesting one there. But yeah, again, the rest here are mostly commercial flights that we are seeing. Again, if you guys would like to take a look at any of this flight radar activity, best places to do that are over in our flight radar section over on the Discord server at discord.gg/Nemico. You can find a link to that in the description, or at flightradar.com. You can find a link to that in the description of this stream as well. Another flight radar platform that's better to use, some would argue, is ADSB Exchange. You can find that at globe.adsbexchange.com is the best place to get that flight radar activity as well. Again, so we just took a look at our flight radar and our naval radar tracking that is being done over on the Discord server there. I think tomorrow what we'll do is we'll take a little bit of time to take a look at some of the radio intercept. There hasn't been too much in that department today. We'll take a look at some. We did give you guys a few of those reports just a few minutes ago about some of that radio activity from those Russian strap bombers earlier this evening. Again, tomorrow we'll probably take a look at our cyber analysis and maybe some more of that radio intercept to see, again, what they are doing in those departments. But for now, again, if we're trying to keep up here on the time at coming to the 45-minute mark here of tonight's report, we're going to switch over into our live UA map updates here. I'm going to scroll down to about the past 12-hour mark, and we're going to get you guys the individual reports of what's been going on the ground, get you guys the facts, get you guys the geolocated reports of what is going on the ground in Ukraine at this time. Starting here, 13 hours ago, again, one unfortunately killed, 2 wounded as a result of shelling in the Huliopol region yesterday. You can see pictures of those strikes here, again, of the damage, the craters left from those strikes. You can see where they are located on the map here, not too far from Zaporizhia Oblast. 11 hours ago here, as a result of Russian army shelling in the Vikosopila and the Kochobivkika communities, 1 woman was unfortunately killed. She lost her life there, and 6 more people were unfortunately wounded in that region. You can see where those strikes occurred. Not too far from Kryvyi Rih, you can see in central Ukraine. South central Ukraine, I guess one would argue. 11 hours ago here, reports of powerful explosions in Mykolaiv. Again, you can see that. Again, I've been talking the past few days, past few nights on these reports. I've been talking about the fact that Mykolaiv is the next in line here for a Russian advance moving westward towards Odessa. If they do look to move on Odessa, they're going to have to get through Mykolaiv first. And again, we're seeing that now with the strikes that are currently occurring in that region. Again, if I open up our source here from Telegram, you can see what is reported to be a plume of smoke coming from one of those strikes today. Again, I try to emphasize, guys, to take every post you get from Telegram with a grain of salt. Every single one. 11 hours ago, same goes for Twitter, but especially Telegram. 11 hours ago here, no contact with the AVASTOL defenders, says the mayor of Mariupol. Again, as the conflict there at the AVASTOL Steelworks has been heating up. Again, another report from that mayor saying Russian forces continue to attack on the AVASTOL plant with all available weapons. 10 hours ago here, Russian troops continue assault on AVASTOL plant. Some units entered the territory. I know I reported on this earlier this evening that some of those Russian forces have broken through the lines there into the plant complex and have begun storming that AVASTOL Steelworks site. 10 hours ago here, again, I just want to reiterate, those Russian troops continue to assault at the AVASTOL plant. Some units have entered the territory of the steelworks, okay? So just to be blatantly clear here, guys, this whole chunk here that we see on the map that is not under red is that AVASTOL Steelworks. Again, there's a few videos on YouTube you can see of drone footage over that area. You can see just how broad it is. It's a very big area here on the map. And again, what you see from the surface doesn't even show what's below the ground. All of the tunnels. I know there was some footage from yesterday showing the Russian forces using bunker buster bombs to penetrate down into some of those tunnels beneath the complex. 9 hours ago, Bulgaria's National Assembly mandated the government to propose a package of measures for Ukraine, including military technical assistance of, quote, 217 MPs, 200 voted in favor, 16 against, and 1 abstention. The proposal was edited after a letter sent from Vladimir Zelensky. Very interesting reporting there, as Bulgaria looks to possibly aid Ukraine. Again, 8 hours ago, Ukraine's resistance against Russian troops in the northern area of the Donbass has, quote, stalled in the advance, says a senior U.S. defense official. Again, they're saying that Ukraine's resistance against Russian troops in the northern area of the Donbass has, quote, stalled the advance. Again, meaning that the Russian troops have now kind of, their incremental gaining of territory has kind of slowed down to a stall directly related to the Ukrainian resistance provided in that area. 8 hours ago here, Russia's 12 Italian tactical groups near Mariupol, the majority of which have left the city, are paused mostly to refit as they move toward Donbass. Again, that came directly from that senior U.S. defense official, as reported on earlier this evening. 8 hours ago here, Ukraine now has control over more than 90% of the 90 U.S.-provided howitzer systems pledged by President Biden. Again, a senior U.S. defense official says nearly 90,000 of the 144,000 rounds of artillery are now in Ukrainian hands as well. 6 hours ago, heavy explosions reported in Dnipro City. Again, possibly that bridge strike that occurred there earlier. You could see where that occurred. Not too far from that. I believe that's the bridge right there. It could be this bridge, but it could be this one as well. That was the one that was struck earlier today, unfortunately. 6 hours ago here, explosions reported in Zaporizhia as well. Explosions reported in Cherkasy here. 6 hours ago, Mayor of Dnipro says missile strike just in the central part of the city here as well. You can see that multiple strikes that have been reported there over the course of the day. 6 hours ago here, head of Ukrainian railways say Russian missile strike hit railways infrastructure in Dnipro city as well. So you can see multiple targets hit in Dnipro today. 5 hours ago, 2 persons were unfortunately killed, lost their lives in the Shandri-Koholovi area in the Donetsk region. Again, 11 more were wounded in that region during those strikes, which you can see here on the map. 5 hours ago, explosion reported in the Kiev region, possibly due to air defense interceptions. Again, that was south of Kiev there, but you can see over near Brovary, there's also some strikes that have occurred today as well. Again, speaking to those, reports of explosions in Brovary. Again, that was from about the 5 to 6 hours ago mark. Again, explosions reported near Mykolaiv not too long after those strikes were reported in Brovary as well. 5 hours ago here, missile strike in the Trebuchev village of the Kiev region. Again, you could see multiple areas here which were striked near Kiev this evening. Again, I'll get to that report here in just 1 second here. Again, though, 5 hours ago, heavy shelling in Mykolaiv now. You can see here on the map. And there's also a video of that as well. I could show you here, bring that up on Telegram, of those strikes occurring. You can hear the audio coming from that shelling. Again, this is unverified, everything that comes from. You can see some flashing there, though. Again, that footage there of that reported heavy shelling happening in Mykolaiv. 5 hours ago, a report here saying 631 missiles in 70 days, a timeline of the entire bombing of Ukraine from the territory of Belarus. The Belarusian Haitian project visualized all of the known missile launches from the territory of Belarus, which began at 6:20 on the 24th of February. I'm going to show you guys this video here, which is a timeline of those missile launches. Again, it's 3 minutes long here. We're going to watch that timeline of these missile launches from the territory of Belarus, again, since the beginning of the war in Ukraine. So again, what we're seeing here is a visualization of missiles being launched from the territory of Belarus into Ukraine. Again, missile launches from the territory of Belarus, again, since the beginning of the war, being launched from Belarusian territory into Ukraine. Again, so far, the total here around 80, 90, going up very rapidly here. Strikes now. This was March 18th. At this point, already almost 400 strikes just in March. As you can see from these areas here, they launch a lot of missiles. We'll skip towards the end here. So the first day without missile launches since the beginning of the war was April 2nd. Very interesting there. So 630 launches so far. So it has, I feel like, slowed down a little bit over the past few days there, but a very interesting data visualization there. And just keep in mind, that's not including Russian territory or what has been launched from the sea. That's just for Belarusian territory. 5 hours ago here, landmine explosions in Kiev region. A tractor blown up near Holohliv. And again, the fire engine in the exclusion zone. 3 were unfortunately wounded in those strikes. You can see where those happen on the map here and here. You can see a picture of that destroyed tractor as well. 5 hours ago here, unfortunately, more explosions reported in Odessa. This was reported, I think, actually over the water. I believe this might be in reference to the naval post that I actually read to you guys a short while ago. Not too long after that, explosions were audible in Kherson, where the Russians do have control over that territory, and also in Kropyvnytsky, up here as well. That in basically the central air, basically smack dab in central Ukraine, where those strikes occurred earlier today. 4 hours ago here, reports saying Russia attempting to hit critical infrastructure in western Ukraine to try to disrupt efforts by Ukrainians to replenish and reinforce, again, says Pentagon Press Secretary, I believe that came from John Kirby, saying they are not good at precision strikes. So again, dropping the mic there with that bit of rhetoric there, saying, again, the Russians appear to be not good at precision strikes. Again, referencing that they have, again, missed quite a few of their targets they've been looking to strike there. 2 hours ago here, finishing up our live UA map updates, Kharkiv Oblast. Red alert, aerial threat siren sounding now. I'm going to go ahead and refresh our map here. We might have a few more of those aerial alerts that have come through. Yes, I guessed correctly. Sumaska Oblast as well. If you look here, guys, on the map, all of these blue circles are where towns and regions where they have had air raid sirens sound on a broad level over the past 24 hours. Again, every single one of these little blue circles here you see on the map, again, represents one of those air raid alerts where possible bombardment has occurred from the air. So again, very busy over the past 12 to 24 hours here. You can see another red alert siren from Poltavska Oblast from 5 hours ago as well. Kiev, Odessa, Mykolaiv, quite a few there all across the country. As I refresh those, they come in there on the map. Again, if you want to keep, in fact, just a minute here, actually, in Ternopil Oblast as well. Just now, those sirens are sounding. In fact, I'm going to go over to our Ukraine Sirens Alert channel. For everybody that wants to keep up to date with when airstrikes are happening in Ukraine, best place to do that is in our Ukraine Alerts channel. If you go to the Welcome channel, you can actually hit the little red siren icon, and that will give you the alerts rank, okay? And whenever air raid alerts sound in Ukraine, you guys will get a alert, a little notification there that will let you know that those sirens have sounded. Again, I just went to my Ukraine Alerts channel here. What is the first report I see? Ternopil Oblast, again, correlating right to the data we're seeing here on live UE map. Again, this is all coming from the same municipal reporting, the same municipal data. So it's very good to see that correlation there between that data. Again, we can see here a Ternopil Oblast, again, siren sounding, take cover now in that region. That wasn't just the city, that's the whole region. Well, and again, as well. And a minute right before that, guys, a minute right before that, we had another whole region siren alert in Kiev. Just 1 minute ago there, as well as a minute before that, we had one sound in Odessa Oblast as well. 1 minute before that, Zaporizhia Oblast. Minutes before that, Cherkasy Oblast, Mykolaiv Oblast, 8:29, Ivano-Frankivsk, Chervisky. Just in the past few minutes, guys, we're getting air raid alert sirens here all across the country. Let's check. I want to double check. Are these all clears? No, these are not all clears. These are fresh sirens coming in now, guys. Again, you can check all of these out in real time in our Ukraine Alerts channel. I just had another one just come in here, guys. Another two just came in here, guys. Sumy Oblast and the city of Sumy Oblast. Sorry, and the city of Sumy as well as Sumy Oblast. We just had siren alerts come in as well on top of that Ternopil. In fact, if I refresh here on our live UE map, we might see those pop up. I haven't seen those pop up yet. But yeah, we have fresh ones coming out of Sumy as well just now. So again, our hearts go out to everybody that is in those areas. Again, we hope everybody's safe at this hour. It does look like there is a bombardment campaign occurring right now at this very hour as we come to 3:30 a.m. in Ukraine. Again, we've seen a pattern of this activity since the war has began. They do choose late or early morning hours to do these strikes. Hugo posting in the live chat now. Again, guys, reminder, we're switching over now from our live UA map updates. I'm going to be doing a Q&A with our live chats and our Discord chats as well. So if you guys have any questions or comments, please send them over. Now is the time. Again, who was it that said that here? Hugo said possible. Again, Hugo, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. He says possible cruise missile strike Donetsk, 3:36 a.m. So that was 1 minute ago. Again, we're seeing all of these reports coming through now. You can see across Ukraine lighting up like a Christmas tree this evening with these blue circle reports here. Again, these are all air raid alert sirens that are coming through. Again, 6 minutes ago. Okay, so here, another one coming through on live UA map, Chernivska. Again, I can actually see that correlated here. In fact, let me look for the one here. Ternopil, Kiev, Odessa Oblast. These are all in the past few minutes. Zaporizhia, Cherkasky, what are we looking for? Chernivsky here. Ivano-Frankivsk. Here we go. This one here, I believe, is that report here just from a few short minutes ago. Again, Chernivsky Oblast. Again, is this the same one? Again, my Ukrainian is not perfect, guys. No, that is not the same one. So we're looking at a different one here. This is Chernivsky. Let me see if I could find that one here in our siren data. Zhytomyr, Vinistia, Kalminsky, Lviv as well just sounded as well. Just a few moments ago, Lviv sounded. Whole Oblast to the whole region. Poltava also sounding. Kiev City also sounding. Kharkiv, that was a little bit ago. That was 8:15, so that was about 15 minutes ago. Kharkiv also sounded. Donetsk as well. So I got that one here, Hugo, from Donetsk. Yeah, that is not good. Not good at all. Just a slew of air raid sirens and possible bombardment reports coming in, guys, just over the past few moments here. Again, Cam 55, I zoomed out there a little bit for you on the live UA map. I hope that helps a little bit so you can see that broader situation. Yeah, as Michelle Kilpatrick says, usually between 3 and 5 a.m. Again, we've seen that report multiple times. HM Producer says, Mehmet just posted a video of the sirens. Was that posted in the Discord? I'll take a look. I'll see if I can get that up on screen for you guys right now. I want to be able to show that on screen again. Huge shout out to Mehmet and HM Producer. Thank you for letting me know there. HM producer, if you can, send me that over really quick. Just link that to me so I can get that up on screen for everybody really quickly. I'm trying my best to track it down here. Would that have been on his Twitter? If you could send that over, that'd be send that over to me real quick, HM producer. I'll get that up on screen ASAP. Or Mehmet, if you're watching, come in clutch there, man. Thank you so much for sending over those videos. Tiger Eye says, what's the other airstrike map you were talking about? There's actually a few that we use. So we use liveuamap.com. That's probably the best one, I would say. We also have another map from our Center of Info Resilience. You can find that in our open source intelligence tools on the Discord server. I can get that up for you guys here. 1 second. Oh, actually, HM Producer sent over the video from Mehmet, our boy Mehmet, on the ground in the capital city of Kiev. Huge shout out to him. Stay safe there, brother. Thank you so much for getting us this video. Again, huge shout out to Mehmet huge shout out for HM Producer as well for sending this over to me real quick and coming in clutch. This is a video coming directly from Victory Square there in Kiev, in the capital city of those air raid sirens sounding as we speak, guys. This came from 8:28 p.m., so just a few moments ago. These air raid sirens sounded in the capital city of Ukraine. Thank you so much to HM Producer for sending this over. We hope Mehmet is staying safe there in that capital city. Keep your head down, man. Get to shelter. Again, it looks like right now across Ukraine at this very moment in time, guys, all of these air raid all these air raid alerts coming in. Possible bombardment. We're hearing reports possibly of a cruise missile strike in the east near the Donbass. Again, seeing a lot of air raid alerts here. Whenever cruise missiles are up in the sky, whenever Russian Air Force is up in the sky, they usually implement these reports nationwide, okay, across the country of Ukraine. Just in case, if there's a cruise missile happens to make its way somewhere, if it's on radar, they're alerting the whole country to that event. Again, that's why we're seeing alerts here coming in from all across the country at this moment. Tiger Eye 912 says this is the most I've seen since in a 10-minute span since the start for sure. I don't know if this is the most I've seen in a 10-minute span, but yeah, I mean we've seen this happen before, where we get like an entire lighting up like a Christmas tree is the way I put it, where the whole country gets lit up in air raid alerts. Everybody's heading to shelters. It's usually about an hour or two later that we get word of strikes that come in. Of course, I'll have to bring you guys those reports with tomorrow's nightly report. If any big massive strikes happen, guys, again, if they happen after these air raids alerts occur, even if I've ended the show, I'll hop back onto air just to be able to cover that for you guys, to make sure that everybody's informed about what's going on in real time. Nisto says they're also stealing wheat and maybe other agricultural stuff and hauling it back to Russia ASAP. Damn jerks. Yeah, I've also heard reports of the theft of the grain. Again, I've seen videos of that as well. Hope to have more information on that coming in the future here. Maybe we can get some more insight to what they're doing with some of that equipment, what they're doing with some of that, again, with that grain theft there, which we have seen. Hugo says Donetsk fire on cam after explosion. After a missile strike, 2 explosions. Again, I'll get those cams up here right at the end of our reports. We'll be getting those cams back up for you guys. The Donetsk cams we're looking at right now currently aren't showing anything. I do have a few others as well. I'll take a look through those to see if we can get eyes on those strikes there. Christian, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel this evening. Much appreciated. Best way to support the channel. Also, best way to get notified when new streams, new videos go live. Again, we have multiple. Trashmouth actually, really quickly, just said in the live chat that air raid video was from 2 months ago. No, it's not from 2 months ago. This is we know Mehmet. We know him. We have him on the show live every day. This is a fresh video from Mehmet on the ground in Kiev as those air raid sirens come on the air right now. This is not from 2 months ago. You can see here the date posted, 8:28 p.m., a short time ago, May 4th. And that is today. This is my time, by the way, in Ukraine. Again, it is the 5th now. It is past midnight in Ukraine. It's still the 4th where I am at here in the United States on the East Coast. That's why it's showing me that date there. Again, you can see those air raid sirens again coming fresh out of Kiev just moments ago. Doug Wilson, thank you so much for tuning in this evening. Glad to see you tuning back into the reports. Again, guys, it's really nice to see. It's really nice to see so many familiar faces tuning back in to the stream this evening. Spuddy says your audio output is clipping or your mic has an issue. Your presentation is dependent on audio. Please investigate a higher fidelity mic. Well, I mean, is anybody else having that same issue? Are we having audio clipping from the mic this evening? I haven't. This is the first I've actually seen anybody say that. You might need to refresh the page, Spuddy. Also, check your audio on your end as well. That could also be what's causing it. It could be having an issue though. So if you guys could sound off in the chat there, that would be appreciated. Benny Hill says, Nemico, you okay? I'm being awkward tonight. Well, thank you so much, Benny Hill, for tuning back in this evening. Tiger Eye says, don't listen to Spuddy. Well, thank you guys so much. Lori said, no issue. Everybody said, I'm coming in clear. Well, that's good. Spuddy, you might have to refresh the page there to get that audio to come in clear. Again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in this evening. To everybody that is tuning in from across the world, across the United States as well. Again, I'm glad to see all of you guys tuning in this evening. 777 Militia saying, you've improved your reporting with every daily report. Keep up this great work. Thank you so much, 777 Militia. I actually have a whole lot of improvements coming down the pipeline for you guys. I'm pretty excited to get that stuff up and operational for you guys. Again, improvements for not only the 24/7 cam stream, but also the nightly reports as well as future video content that I've been working on. Not just OSINT related, not just open source intelligence related, not just Ukraine related, but I have some other content coming down the pipeline for you guys as well. I'm really pumped for that stuff. Again, I'm really excited to bring you guys some of that other content here coming down the road. Dirk asks also, where's Jared McMurd? Usually this time he's asleep. But again, I'll talk to him. We're supposed to have a staff meeting. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get to that today. I'm hoping to get to it this evening. If not, tomorrow. Again, I'm looking to have a staff meeting. I'll make sure to mention, Dirk, that you are really wanting to have Jared on the stream. Love to get him on here, man. He's awesome. Again, big shout out to Jared for helping in the moderating department over there on the Discord server. Michelle says, any word on surgery for Putin? Not yet. We are keeping a close eye on that situation. We've heard a lot of reports on that. However, again, I don't have any information to bring you on that at this time, but we will in future reports 100%. Again, thank you to everybody that tuned in this evening for tonight's report. Again, guys, this has been our nightly report for May 4th, 2022. If you want to take a look at any of the sources that we talked about this evening, best place to do that, best place to find those links, again, you can find everything in the description below this video, below this stream. You can find links there to donate to Ukraine, to support the channel. You can find links there to the merch fundraiser. You can find links down there to our cams, where we're, again, you can find links down there to all of our open source intelligence sources, an invite to the Discord server. Again, if you can't find something in our description, the best place to find it is over on our Discord server. That's discord.gg/Nemico. If you missed this report live, we always upload our nightly reports to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Nemico Network. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. Best way to get notified of new videos, of new streams when they go live. Again, if you are following along on Twitch, hit that follow button. It's the equivalent of hitting the subscribe button there. Best way to get notified of when new streams go live on Twitch as well. Cam955 saying, Nemico Network, the Kremlin, hold on, let me look up here. The Kremlin was saying they will not declare a general mobilization. Are they lying about that too? We'll have to wait and see. May 9th is coming up here in a few days, about 5 days. We're going to see if they do end up declaring anything on May 9th. It's always a possibility. Again, U.S. intelligence has pointed in that direction. We're going to have to keep a close eye on that at this time. Lost B83 saying, thanks, Nemico. Have a great night. You too, Lost B83. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening. Again, after I'm done here, I will be getting that 24/7 cam stream just up up again and operational for everybody. We'll get that auto refresher running as well. Again, I'll be uploading this nightly report to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Nemico Network. If you guys haven't already, hit that like button. Best way to get the algorithm's attention. Again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in this evening. New reports every night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes we do start a few minutes earlier, though, so make sure to tune in. I would say sometime around 7:30 Eastern Standard, 2:30 Ukraine time. 3 o'clock a.m. Ukraine time is the official time where we start our nightly reports. Okay, so just keep that in mind. 3 a.m. Ukraine time. That's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's the time to be on. That's the time to look for. Again, guys, thank you so much tonight for tuning in to the stream for our report on the ongoing war in Ukraine for May 4th. Of 2022. Again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in this evening. Until next time, you're watching Nemico Network.
Something that will change our daily lives, that will change history.